channel. So today we are going to do a Q1 recap, basically the same type of beauty bank monthly recap that I used to do, but we're just going to combine the first 3 months of the year into one, because honestly I don't have too much to say, so I kind of stopped doing this every single month. I just felt like it was kind of pointless. But in this video we are going to, well, I'm going to show you any of the eyeshadow pans that I've hit so far this year that I can think of. I think I have them all in front of me. Any makeup items or beauty items, I would say, because not everything is makeup. In terms of what I finished so far in the first 3 months of the year, any new products that I might have brought into my collection in the first 3 months of the year, and then also if I have anything to say about any movies or TV shows that I have watched so far this year, then I will put that at the end. It's just going to be like my beauty bank recap video, but I figured I'd do this quarterly instead of monthly because, you know, quite honestly, I just don't think I had enough to say every single month, but maybe it will change. But anyway, I just put the Maybelline Spicy Lifter Plump. I can't remember what it's called. It is like burning my lips. I shouldn't have done this right before filming because my lips are on fire. They're pretty, they're pink, but they're on fire. It's this one, it's the Plump, Lifter Plump. It is really nice. I actually really like it. It's just, I haven't used it in a while and I forgot how much it really burns. It really burns. Okay, anyway, let's start with the eyeshadow pans that I've hit so far for the year. I don't think it's actually that much, to be fair, because I know I haven't had like a very good start to the year. And so what I've counted is 10 so far, which you tell me, 10 in 3 months. I feel like I used to do 6 or 7 a month. So 10 is definitely lower than what I think typically would expect. I also have a feeling that I'm missing some, quite honestly, but I have 10 in front of me. So the first one is from, they're not in any particular order. I don't have it from when I first hit pan in them, although I probably should do it like that. The first one is in my Beauty Bay Earthy palette, and I hit pan in this shade called Palm right here. It is a lovely gold champagne-y color. So I hit pan in that. You can see my hands are already a mess. But yeah, this one was a really pretty shade that I hit pan on right, I would say, in the first month of the year. Another pan that I've hit is in my GlossGods Dancing in the Sky. This was also in my pan those eyeshadows. The shade that I hit pan on is this one right here called Aurora. And I think I only used it once and I hit pan. Obviously, I've used it more than that in its entirety, but in the project I think I only used it once. It's just such a pretty shade, but it's also very squishy, and I already had a really nice dip in it, so that is a gorgeous shade to have hit a pan on. The shade that I hit pan on is in my Hocus Pocus 2 All Hallows Eve palette from Colourpop. This was in my Pan in Every palette, and this is called Candle is a Light, and I hit pan in this one. I want to say, this must have been right at the start of the year. I think this was probably my first one, if I'm not mistaken, or right at the end of December, and I'm just a liar. I don't really remember, but anyway, this is the one that I have marked that I hit it in January. So you can see it has like a lovely green flip to it. Another one that I hit pan this year is in my BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin. This was also in the Pan in Every palette project, and I hit pan in Sugared right here, which is a lovely white, I was gonna say iridescent. It's not. It's just a pure shimmer, but it's a nice inner corner. So yeah, so far all shimmers. Is that shocking? No, it's not. Next up, I have hit pan in one of the shades in my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. This is my pan up palette in order for the year. I mentioned this, I don't want to spoil it. My update is going to be next week, so just stay tuned, but I have hit pan in one of the shades in here so far. I also have hit pan in my Project Level Up palette. This is my level 5, so I've got 3 pans in this one so far. Almost a 4th one as of today. Almost, because I did go into it today and I thought I hit pan in Drip Drop, but no, but very close. Anyway, so I've hit pan in Dewy, Raindrop, and also Water Prism. So that is looking very, very loved. And it is very, very loved. Let me just swatch them. So this one is called Dewy. It is so pretty. It is so dewy. I'm just not funny. I try to be, I'm not funny. Anyway, here is the shade right there. It is really, really pretty. My fingers are getting really filthy. And then I also hit pan on Water Prism, which is one of the best shades in the palette. This is such a gorgeous purple to blue duochrome. I don't know if you're really going to be able to see how gorgeous it is, but it is gorgeous. And then also there's Raindrop, which is also really, really pretty too, but doesn't swatch nearly as well as those other ones, but it's a lot more blue. Anyway, so I hit pan in those three. And then I also have my palette for the year. And I think one of these is a spoiler, but I kind of already mentioned it in another video. But I hit pan in Sapling right at the beginning. I think that was the first month. And then I've also hit pan in Dahlia, which it may be a spoiler. I don't really know. So I have 2 pans so far in here. Again, these are all shimmers. All I've hit pan on are shimmers so far this year, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, this one is Sapling. And then we have Dahlia, which I'll put right here. So absolutely gorgeous, duochrome, iridescent, sparkly shimmers all year long so far. And that makes me very, very happy because these are the shades that I love the most. So it just kind of makes sense. All right, in terms of pan percentage, I actually can't tell you my pan percentage because I don't know it. I have not added all of my palettes back into my spreadsheet. I know at the end of last year, it was over 10%, and that was including the new palettes that I received for Christmas, and I haven't bought any new palettes this year so far, so it should be better than 10% or still around 10% because of those 10 new pans that I have. Quite honestly, it should be like maybe closer to 11% at this point. But once I do have that all in my spreadsheet, I will definitely let you know. But it is definitely looking good. I just don't know what it is right now. So far this year, if my calculations are correct, of the eyeshadow palettes that I have gone into, I have gone into 155 different shades in 3 months, which is crazy. I have a problem. I don't like to stick to the same shade. So that just gives you a rough idea of how many eyeshadows I'm dipping into, you know, on average, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So I thought that would be a fun stat to add in. Since I don't have my pan percentage. So just bear that in mind. Some of those shades obviously I've gone into more than once, but that's like the total number of shades, which is crazy. But if you think about it, I think I have roughly over 1,200 eyeshadow shades in my collection. So it's not even, I mean, it is, it's like 10%, right? So I've used about 10% of my eyeshadow so far in 3 months. I don't think I'll make it to 100%, but my no pan left behind is definitely helping, and I'm just enjoying it, so I'm not stressing about it so much. Also, you never know, I might be planning to do declutter soon-ish, and yeah, I think the more that I spend not buying makeup, the more I'm spending time with what I have in my collection, and then I'm realizing what I actually like more. Speaking of new makeup, I actually did not buy any new makeup the first 3 months of this year. When we did hit into April, however, I did buy a couple of things, but I will save that for my next update because that was not in Q1. But yeah, Q1, I did not buy any new makeup. I don't think I bought any new skincare either. I don't think I bought anything, which is kind of crazy. But also, it's just one of the things that I want to do. I want to be on a no buy. I don't really want to be spending money where I don't need to be spending money. If you are not familiar, I did quit my job back in August last year. So, I've just been like a stay-at-home mom, and I just haven't wanted to really just throw my money around like I used to. I used to have quite a lot of spending money that I kind of wish I just, you know, obviously I did save money, but I kind of wish I had saved more money in the long run and not been so flippant with just buying and buying and buying. But like, that's the thing. It's just, it grabs you, it sucks you in. And for me, the longer that I spend not buying, the easier it is, quite honestly. So that's just my take on it. I don't know. It doesn't mean that I don't look at things and I want some pretty new makeup and I see new releases and I add it to my basket. But it does mean that at the end of the day, when I look at the total, I'm like, I'd rather buy food than buy that. You know, I don't need it because I have 10 others in my drawer already that are collecting dust. So that's my mentality right now. I know my content might be a little bit more boring because I don't have new makeup items to share with you like I used to, but it doesn't mean I won't in the future. I'm just being more selective of what I want to buy. All right, let's move on to empties. I do have empties. I figured instead of showing my empties every single month, I don't have that many. I'm going to just do them every quarter. And then, because I have been doing my mid-year empties and my end-of-year empties, so I still want to do that, but I thought this would be a good way to kind of give you a hint as to what I'm finishing before we get to midway through the year, which is 3 months away, which is kind of crazy. All right, so before I get into that, I did end up decluttering 2 items from my collection. One, sadly, not on purpose, and the other one I hated. So the one I've sadly had to let go of, I did mention this in a video, is my Melt liquid lipstick. This is the shade Sydney. I went to open it. I don't know what happened. I don't know which voodoo magic, you know, makeup god in my drawers decided to tarnish this product, but I tried to open it and the cap came off. The cap is inside, like the little dough fit or whatever. So like, what am I gonna do with this? I don't know how to get it out of there. I could try to, I don't know, take this off and then get some tweezers. Like I could really fiddle with this potentially, but then what am I gonna do? It's not gonna stay on this and it's not worth keeping this. I've had this for quite a long time. I really actually like the color of it. I feel like it dried down not the nicest in terms of a liquid lipstick, but I always really like the color. So sadly, this one is going, and Melt is not cheap, so it kind of bums me out. But yeah, I've had to declutter this one, unfortunately. And then an item that I absolutely hate is this Fit Colors mascara. So this is one of the items that I got in that C Beauty box that I got for Christmas, and it's absolutely awful. Every time I use this mascara, the mascara would end up all over my face throughout the day, like just flecks of it everywhere. It also kind of made a mess. I never made my lashes look very good either. So I stopped using this pretty early on. So yeah, those 2 have been decluttered from my collection. All right, moving on to hair care, I don't have too much. Usually with shampoo and conditioner, I share that in the house, so I don't generally count them as empties. However, this one, I know I'm the only one that used it, so I'm going to count it as an empty. This is the Garnier Fructis shampoo, and it's the 72-hour hydration. It's got like 5% of, I don't know, something. It's all in Portuguese. I don't really know. It's this variation of one of the Fructis ranges. I actually kind of liked it. I'm not that fussy, honestly, with shampoo. I do double shampoo because I feel like that works best for me. So as long as I have like a decent shampoo, if I double shampoo, I just feel like most things are cleaning my scalp and my hair, and you know, I've been on a hair journey and it's growing and it's doing its thing. So this was nice to have, but I finished it. I don't think I'm going to buy it again. Another item that I finished, and I always finish these, I actually don't have any more of these. So this is a dry shampoo from B Beauty, and I need to buy at least one more because I have no dry shampoo now, which I did cut back on using dry shampoo for the longest. I used to go through these like crazy, and I don't anymore because obviously it's not good for the scalp. But this one I did finish, and it was my last one. So yeah, I probably will buy that again. It's just so cheap, and actually it is pretty good. It doesn't leave a white cast, which most shampoo does for me, dry shampoo. All right, dental care. I finished a toothpaste. So I know this is very vital for you to know, but I finished toothpaste, so I thought I would add it in. All right, I have two skincare items. This is a little rose sugar lip scrub from Avant. I've had it for ages. I cannot get the last little remnant out. And I think it's old that it's got to the point where it's kind of all sticky in there anyway, but you can see I've used like tons of this. I've had this for years. And I think the last time I spoke about it, I had about that much left. So I've put in an effort to try to finish this, and I have. So that one now is an empty, and this obviously was in my other hand. This is from Beauty Bay, and we'll see what happens with them. But this is the Chamomile and Oat Lipid Cleansing Balm. I actually kind of like this. I thought it was fine. I'm not a huge fan in general of cleansing balms, but I did enjoy this one to the point, obviously, that I finished it. And I thought it was, I thought it smelled nice. It smelled quite refreshing on the skin. And I also like the fact that it did remove my makeup. So I like that. Obviously, I don't wear a huge ton of makeup. So if you plaster makeup all over your face and you wear tons and tons of maybe eyeshadow, maybe it's not the best in terms of makeup remover. But for me personally, I felt like it removed my makeup well enough for me to get by, you know? And sometimes I do double cleanse, so. Anyway, those two I finished. All right, everything else is makeup or sort of, yeah, I categorize it with my makeup, even though this is not. This is obviously SPF, but I kept it with my primers. I have eventually now finished this one. I'm still working on the Glow one, but this is just the normal one. This is the Vitamin C Daily UV from Garnier. Had it for ages. I think that the SPF probably stopped working, but I did finish that earlier. I think it was like last month. And then I also finished this one. If you follow me on my project pans, you know what I finished so far, but this is the Embryolose Swan Blush Depot, and this is just a complexion primer. And so this one I, used until I couldn't use it anymore. I also ended up finishing this Catrice Tinted Serum Foundation, although it doesn't even look like I have. I swear I can't there's no more product in here. And it's the type of bottle that it just doesn't really show any windowing. It's not satisfying at all. You know how, like, I've left this standing for so long. You know how, when you have a glass bottle, you can see the remnants falling. You can literally see what's going on. I can't see anything and nothing comes out of this. But I love this. I would absolutely buy it again if I came around to it. I just have quite a lot of foundation right now, so I don't need to, but I would definitely highly recommend. I think it's a good one. I also finished this Misha Magic Cushion. This one, I did actually end up adding, I tried to pour this into the cushion part so I could use it, and it didn't really work. I could barely get any product out. But before that, obviously, I finished the actual Misha product. I'm not a fan of cushion foundation. Obviously, I haven't tried like the tier one, so maybe I should try that one or, other ones, but they're all just very, very, very expensive, and I just don't really want to put my money into something like that where I've already kind of tried it and I don't think I even like the application, like the fiddliness of it. I don't know. I know you can, like, this is, you can get like a replacement, and then you can buy a replacement for it. So in that respect, they make a lot of more sense than buying the same packaging over and over again from a foundation that you like. But I don't know, I just don't really like cushion foundations, but maybe I haven't tried the right one. And then the last item that I finished this year is my Maybelline Sky High mascara, which I have had before, and I bought this. I had it a while, and then I finally opened it up, and I actually finished this really early on in the year. I put it with my Empties, and then I was working on this Fit Colors one, and I couldn't stand it. So I brought this back out of my Empties, and I was like scraping out as much as I could until obviously this last weekend I did get a couple of mascaras, which I will speak about in another time. But anyway, those are all of the items that I did end up finishing the last 3 months. All right, that's everything in terms of makeup news, anything, in terms of like what's coming to my collection. What we're going to talk about just really, really quickly, because I actually don't have too much to say in terms of what I've been watching, but I know I haven't really mentioned this in a really long time. So I wanted to just shout out a few things that I've watched, I guess a little bit more recently, because I honestly don't remember what I was watching right at the beginning of January. But these are a little bit of shows or movies that I've watched a little bit more recently that I have at least some sort of opinion about. The first one is Something Very Bad Is Gonna Happen. Obviously, this is on Netflix. Now, if you're not into like horror or even like body horror, I would say at some point, or like some gruesome imagery, I wouldn't recommend this. This did make me quite squeamish, this show. There were two different sort of themes that appeared in the show that I have seen in either movies or other shows, like tropes, I would say, that really, really upset me in terms of, you know, not really wanting to really keep watching, but I did end up obviously watching the whole series. I liked the whole series. Yes, it's kind of dorky and, you know, you just have to take it as it is. Is it realistic? No, but I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it. I did. But there definitely were two things, like I would say like trigger warnings in the show that I wish I had known about before watching the show, because they were very upsetting to me. And you know, one was like, I mean, I don't know if I even tell you, but like trigger warning, like taxidermy and dogs. And then the other one is, you know, pregnancy and something going wrong with that. Like those types of things get to me. If you know me as a person, anything to do with pregnancy and things that are going bad, I'm just like, no, 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 no. I think, not to say too much, but there's just been too much stuff that's happened to me personally in my life to want to see that on TV. And then obviously taxidermy, it's creepy for one thing, and then the show did show something very, very, very gruesome, which I did not appreciate because it was for shock value. So even though I say I like the show, there's like things that I hated about the show and I had to fast forward. So anyway, just wanted to put those triggers out there for anyone who maybe is like me and sensitive to those things, but I could be a little bit of a wuss, so you know, you never know. I feel like definitely as I've gotten older, I'm less inclined to watch things like that. It doesn't make me, you know, happy. I feel like when I was younger, I was able to watch things and they were super gruesome and it just didn't affect me. I don't know. I've found my humanity again. I don't know, because I don't like it anymore. Another show that I did end up watching is Peaky Blinders. So obviously this has been going on for ages. It finished a couple years ago. The movie just came out. I hadn't seen any Peaky Blinders and I knew the movie was coming out, and I've always been a Cillian Murphy fan since 28 Days Later, so I just thought, okay, you know what, let me watch it. I did try to watch this, I think probably 5 years ago, and it was never like something that I really wanted to watch, but I finally tried to watch it, and I did end up really, really enjoying the first couple of seasons, and then obviously it does kind of get a little bit worse, and you know, it gets more political and things, and I know that I didn't enjoy it as much, but I was fully hooked at that point to watch I think it's 6 seasons. So I ended up binging that for a good month before the movie came out, because that was my goal. I wanted to watch the movie, and then the movie comes out, The Immortal Man, and it was terrible. So if you've seen it, you know what I mean. Let me just I need to put on a little bit more. This thing is gone. But I wanted to add a little bit more. So anyway, if you've seen The Immortal Man, then you know what I mean. It just didn't feel like it was from the same sort of, like, the same vein at all from the show. It didn't have the same DNA, you know, it was just so different. And depressing. That's one of the things that I really didn't like about the show. Like, as we got on, I felt like it got more and more depressing, whereas it was actually pretty cool. You know, they were gangsters and horrible men or women, and you know, in the start, but at least they were cool. You know, the way that the show was filmed was like, oh yeah, they're cool, you know. And then as the show went on, it just got more depressing, and it was like, and the movie was very depressing. So obviously watched the movie, but I did not enjoy it. Something that we just finished watching, which I loved. I actually wish that there were like 10 more episodes or it had stretched on longer, but A Night in the Seven Kingdoms. I thought this show was going to be boring. So obviously this is a spin-off show in the Game of Thrones universe. But I don't feel like you need to know anything about Game of Thrones or even the dragon show. I can't remember, House of the Dragons, which is obviously also another spin-off show that I'm watching, which I'm waiting for that next season to come out. But A Night and in the Seven Kingdoms was so delightful. I thought it was going to be super boring. Finally, all the episodes, because we were waiting on HBO, they release an episode every week or every other week, right? So it took forever for all the episodes to come out. There's only 6 episodes. So we finally ended up watching it, and I thought, okay, fine, I'll watch this. You know, because my partner's been asking to watch it. I was like, fine. I just thought it'd be like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has some, obviously, comedy elements to it, but in its entirety, it's more of a serious drama show, right? So I thought this would be the same thing. Same for House of Dragon. It's like a drama series. No, this was a comedy, and it was so delightful. It was so sweet. It was, the way it was written was so good, and then just right when you think, oh, it's just like a comedy, there's like a couple of really serious episodes, and it's not a comedy all of a sudden, and then because you really care about these characters, you're really worried about what's going to happen, because it could have gone one way, and so it was really fun to watch. I really liked it. I thought it was really well done, well acted. I didn't really know too many of the actors in it, so I think that was a good thing too. And I'm delighted that there's a second season, which is coming out next year. Hopefully it's good, but I loved it. So definitely recommend that one. Another one that I watched, which I think I mentioned this, a month ago. I like trash TV. I can't help it. So you know this, but I already watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which when I said, oh, I'm watching The Secret Lives, oh, she's going to be the Bachelorette. And then literally, I think the day I filmed that is the day that they cancelled The Bachelorette, because obviously there's been a huge issues with it, like DM and like domestic violence and all that stuff going on with her and her relationship, and people have been arrested, and then kids have, like, a whole huge sort of icky stuff that obviously she should not be the Bachelorette. She should never have been the Bachelorette. So anyway, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I still watched the whole thing. Yeah, I would have watched The Bachelorette. I would have tried to figure out, but that obviously was cancelled. So it's such a shame they filmed the whole thing and now we can't see it though, right? Another movie that we ended up watching, this was earlier in the year, was Eternity. I thought this was going to be a cute movie. It ended up being a little bit more boring than I had hoped. However, one of the really cute movies that I watched, which I saw a lot of people didn't really enjoy, is Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation. So Emily Henry is the author of this book. I haven't read it, the book itself, but I have 2 other books from her, and I have given her books 5 stars. She just writes these beautiful romance stories that really center around friendship and obviously romance, but she really has a good way of building out the characters. And so I hadn't read this books, but I saw that they made a movie, it came out on Netflix, and I gulped it up. I love this. I need to watch it again, because while I was watching this movie, maybe I was just in the mood to watch romance. While I was watching it, I really got the sense that this is the type of movie that I grew up watching back in like the 90s, early 2000s. Like, it gave me those giddy, kick my toes feelings. Now, obviously there is issues in the movie where it comes to like crossing the line and things like that. But you know what? It's a movie, and I can get by that because I just enjoyed the little romance that they had and the friendship, and I thought she was kind of cute and fun, and he was very serious, and you know what? They just grew on me as a duo on the screen, and I actually really enjoyed it, to the point where I watched the movie and I had the feeling that I wanted to watch it immediately again, like back to back. I have never had that feeling since I was a kid. since I swear, like the last time I had that feeling is when I watched Donnie Darko when I was a kid, and I don't know why. So maybe because I had no idea what was going on, so I had to watch it again. And also I had a huge crush on Jake Gyllenhaal, which I still obviously do. So anyway, enough about that. The movie itself was sweet. Yes, people can go on and on about, oh, is it like appropriate and blah, blah, blah. I think you just have to watch a movie for what it is and not take it too seriously sometimes. So I actually really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was really sweet. And I wanted to watch it immediately again after. I didn't, and I haven't since, but I definitely want to see it again. Maybe I won't feel the same way, but I enjoyed it. And then the last thing that I will talk about is a movie we just watched last night, Crime 101. This one was good. I thought it was good. It actually watched it 2 days ago, but regardless, it was fine. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was anything special. I had heard that there was a little bit of a twist, and then also my parents were like, oh yeah, we like this movie, the ending's really good. So I was like, okay, fine. So the whole movie, I'm watching it, I'm waiting for the ending, and then obviously the ending comes, and I'm like, okay, there wasn't a huge twist, but it's still like, it was a decent movie. I didn't mind it. Halle Berry looks absolutely amazing. Like, she is just so beautiful, and she looks so natural. Like, I actually have to commend her, because obviously, you know, when you see women in Hollywood in their 50s, or even way earlier than that, you see them get all this plastic surgery, and maybe she has had it done, but regardless, she looks amazing. I don't want to say for her age, because that is such an ageist thing to say, but she does look amazing. And so she was in that, obviously, and then a bunch of, like, loads of other people were in the movie. I thought it was a decent movie. So I did watch a bunch of other stuff, but I don't think it's worth talking about. So that's it for my little recap for Q1. We had a good, decent start to the year, I would say. Aside from all the horrible storms, we've been, like, literally every time it rains, we lose power and water for a few hours. Can you believe that? Because they still haven't fixed certain things, and we're still connected to, like, I don't know, something that's going on. But when it's sunny out and it's not raining, we have power again. Crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!